Chapter 96 to 99. In a world with fragmented skies and constantly shifting horizons, 6 existences are flying in the air, with 5 of them grouped together facing off against the 6th one. The 5 are Malim, Ilya, Mikoto, Ranga, and myself. Ranga is currently running through the skies at a moderate pace while everyone else is leisurely sitting on his back, staring at the giant monster that is the 6th, Charybdis. I just want to quickly say that Ranga's white fur is so comfortable. Charybdis is this giant fish that can fly. Its most prominent features are its giant eye located at the very front of its body and its 3 large fins, 2 on both sides and 1 on its back. Except for its eye, its entire body is covered with ocean blue armor-like scales. If anything, it looks more like an aircraft carrier. It looks nothing like a fish. I would call it a blue thing, but that title is reserved for a certain useless water goddess. Charybdis is a being born from a cloud Veldora's magicules, which probably relates to its fucked appearance that has nothing to do with fish. My bet is that Veldora farted which gave birth to this guy. Malim ooh. It's pretty big, isn't it? I bet I would have to give it a decent punch to take it down. Hey, can I go first? My lips twitch. Rimuru, if you go first, there will be nothing left for us. Malim deflates, prompting Mikoto to pat her back. I wryly smile at the scene and look over to Ilya. Ilya senses my gaze and turns to me before nodding slightly. So Phobio is fused with it, huh? Although it was almost certain, I just wanted to make sure. I place my hand on Ranga's head and pet it a bit. Rimuru, hey bud. Can you take us down? Ranga, of course, master. Ranga happily accepts my request and dives down. He quickly reaches a small opening in the forest below. Landing softly, Mikoto, Malim and Ilya jump off Ranga's back. While I'm still on, I look at the girls on the ground. Rimuru, then, as planned, I'm going first to have my fun. And don't worry, you'll get your turn. Ilya, don't take too long, Oniai-chan. Malim, make you sure leave him as healthy as you can for me. Please. My lips twitch again. Mikoto's hand drops on Malim's shoulder. Mikoto, well, don't worry about it, Malim. Rimuru would probably beat it to death before reviving it again once he's done. How did she know? My eyes widen as I look at Mikoto with shock. Looking at me out of the corner of her eyes, she forms a teasing smile as she closes an eye and pokes her tongue out. My shocked face is replaced with a defeated look before I turn my attention to a pouting Malim. Rimuru, then you can go next, alright? Malim brightens up and she raises her fists into the air. Malim umu. Hurry up then. Rimuru, yes ma'am. I pat Ranga's back. He crouches down slightly before leaping high into the air. Space-attributed magicules gather around his paws, solidifying the space around it for a split second as he pushes off of them, now running through the air directly towards Charybdis. Rimuru, now then, how should I deal with you? I don't ask this question because this giant fish would be troublesome to deal with, it's just that there are too many ways I can deal with this situation and I want to get the most out of this chance. Should I just teleport him into the sun while screaming, "Begone thought"? Should I just cut him in half? Should I engrave runes on his body, disabling its flight sending it crashing into the ground before I start teabagging it? Choices. Ranga quickly approaches the giant enemy spider, the giant enemy fish, crossing several kilometers in just a few seconds. Ranga, master, what shall you do? Rimuru, I don't really know. Most of my tactics will kill this thing too quickly while the others won't give me enough satisfaction. I close my eyes and cover my shin with my hand in thought. If Fry, the one currently worrying over the Charybdis issue the most, heard what I just said, I wonder what her reaction would be. I mean, being a demon lord, she has her own kingdom to look after. Since she's a harpy and the majority of her kingdom is some form of flying type magen or monster, Charybdis, who is renowned as the ruler of the skies, is kind of a death sentence for them. But I digress. Charybdis won't be bothering them ever again, so I don't need to think about it. But what shall I do with this guy? Ranga, master, perhaps you could limit your overwhelming strength? Ranga hesitantly suggests. I open my eyes again and hit my fist into my palm. Rimuru, oh. That could work. Smiling, I invoke the ultimate skill, Ahura Mazda, Lord of Creation. Motes of light form into existence from my magicules and gather together in a single spot above my open palm. The light disperses, revealing a ring. The ring is a simple one, having a black band but a thin trace of gold along its edges. Slipping the ring on, a slight suffocating feeling overcomes me before quickly disappearing. Haha. It worked. Now I don't have to consciously hold back my strength. Bringing out Yamato from my gluttony storage, I unsheath it as Ranga closes in on Charybdis. A link forms between the ring I just created and Yamato, restricting the sword's strength as well. Pumping my magicules into the blade, I swing it down with a wide grin on my face. Shing! A thin flash of light leaves the edge of the sword, splitting the world in half. Slowly Charybdis begins to lose altitude. As I wonder why, its body begins to separate into two pieces, split straight down the middle. The fuck? As I was wondering what the hell just happened, Ilya contacts me through thought communication. Ilya, Oniai-chan. You didn't limit yourself with that ring yet. You just put it on, it didn't do anything. Rimuru, eh? B-but dash. Ilya, do you remember Charybdis skills? Rimuru yees. Oohoo, now I get it. That suffocating feeling I got wasn't from the ring, it was from Charybdis, magic interference, skill. Ilya, with your infinite magicules, you just bulldozed through the anti-magicule field around Charybdis, rendering it useless. And since you weren't holding back, Charybdis got one shot. Rimuru Fuck. Using Scat-Half, Lord of Runes, several long strings of runes flow out of my outstretched hand that's not holding Yamato. Like threads, the runes weave in between the two separated parts of Charybdis, bring it back together. With another flash of light, it was completely healed. This time, I imbue some magicules into the ring, activating its effect. Not feeling any different, I test it out by swinging Yamato to the side. The space in front of it wobbles slightly, rippling outwards, before disappearing after a dozen meters. Rimuru, no magicules imbued and only affecting space this much, it worked. Definitely seeing a heavy reduction in firepower, I snap my head towards Charybdis, a wide grin once again forming on my lips. Rimuru Yaluu. Ranga takes off towards Charybdis, again, and I swing Yamato down at it, again. Rimuru Allahu Akbar. Boom. A large explosion hits the left wing of the giant flying fish, causing it to smoke. However, it clears after several seconds, revealing a completely unharmed surface. Rimuru, well, I guessed as much. Using Control Natural Elements, I induced an explosion on the big guy, but with my strength being restricted with the limiter ring I made last chapter, a few minutes ago, along with the anti-magicule field around it, Charybdis is pretty much unharmed. And no, I was not being racist. I screamed because I wanted to try and increase its firepower. Apparently screaming like this makes things better. I guess you need plot armor for that. Damn Shounen protags and their constant screaming. Those bastards lied to me. Charybdis doesn't see me as a threat yet, but to satisfy its thirst for destruction, it begins its attack. Ranga, sensing this, speeds up and prepares to dodge anything thrown at us. Rimuru incoming. Without a moment of hesitation, Ranga teleports himself several meters to the left. Moments later, a reddish-magenta beam of pure energy vaporizes the area we were just in. The next moment, it impacts the ground. BBBOOM. Not even questioning how a laser beam can make the ground explode like it came out of a Michael Bay film, I decided to poke it back a bit. I sheath Yamato and send it back to my gluttony stomach before I take out a familiar purple and black colored scythe. Rimuru Harp. I call out its name as I begin to look at it fondly. To be honest, I haven't really found a decent opportunity to use it again. It's a weapon that specializes only against certain types of enemies, after all. And so, rather than just letting it sit in my stomach for the next several decades or so, I thought it best to, well, let it go with a bang. I stand up on Ranga's back, using universal thread to tie myself down. I hold Harp tightly in my right hand, bringing it over my head in a throwing position. Temporarily lifting my physical limitations, I pump Harp with as many magicules as I can. And then, I throw it. Toom. Creating a shockwave as it breaks the sound barrier, rotating as it flies directly towards Charybdis, I limit my physical strength again and watch the fireworks. Asterisk in the distance, asterisk Beyblade. I swear I heard something. Seconds later, with a silent flash of light, a large gaping wound appears on the underside of one of its wings, spanning 100 meters or so. I raise my hand up in a salute as I pay respects to our fallen soldier. Rimuru, you've served me well, even if it was only a couple times. Without warning, Ranga teleports again as another beam of energy vaporizes the area we were just at, causing another explosion on the ground. Rimuru, wah, it's definitely angry. Wryly smiling as Charybdis charges up another energy beam in its eye, I take Yamato out from my gluttony stomach again. Not bothering to unsheath it, I hold it like a bat. Charybdis fires its eye laser beam, but I just cover Yamato in my magicules while writing some temporary runes on its sheath. Rimuru Ranga, don't move. Ranga was just about to teleport but stops the process, deciding to trust me. Just as the laser beam is about to hit, I swing Yamato. Rimuru no. Bam. The laser beam's trajectory makes a nearly 180-degree turn, flying right back towards Charybdis, hitting it right in its mouth. It actually did some damage, causing the area it hit to smoke as it regenerates its cracked and shattered scales. Must be because the attack came from its own magicules, so its anti-magic field didn't disrupt it. Interesting. Finally seeing me as a threat, its whole body begins to tremble. It's not actually trembling, it's just the word I use for lack of a better term. Its entire body shimmers as its scales move. Before long, a storm of its scales rushes from all over its body directly towards me. This might be a challenge. Wearing a playful grin, I look at the oncoming storm of scales that could potentially rip me to shreds if I do nothing and stand there without my defenses and resistances. But I digress. Rimuru Ranga, can you go faster? Ranga obviously, my master. Ranga eagerly replies. Rimuru, then we're gonna do what's called a pro gamer move. I explain the quick plan I just made. A few seconds later, Ranga disappears from his spot. He didn't teleport. He just shrunk space in front of him, boosting his speed to such heights that even the fastest modern aircraft on Earth would have trouble competing with him. Feeling proud of Ranga, I turn my attention to Charybdis, who is now below me. I jump off Ranga's back and land on the wing that Harp damaged. Due to Harp's innate recovery inhibiting effect, the wound it made is still there, not healing. But that's on the underside. Currently, I am standing on the top. Charybdis quickly notices my new location and within a second, swarms of scales rush towards me. Rimuru, you're an impatient one, aren't ya? Using universal sense to my restricted limits, I begin running through the storm of scales. Since I'm so close to its body, Charybdis isn't just bombarding me. This gives me a chance to at least weave in between the scales, to a degree. Since every cell of my body can act as a brain, my computational powers are completely off the charts compared to a normal human. And although Ilia isn't fused with me, I can still access her computational prowess as the user of Manus Iliasviel. Of course, I have to control everything manually, so I can only fully make use of a small portion of it. But that's enough to completely grasp every small shift in the wind within a couple hundred or so meters around me. And that's enough to grasp the location of every scale around me and create a movement path to dodge them all. Unfortunately, as fast as I am, I can't dodge every scale. However, I do have a neat little skill to deal with them. Rimuru, gluttony. The moment a stray scale hits me, my body absorbs and consumes it, rendering it ineffective. Esps. I unsheath Yamato and begin running while dragging its blade along the surface, easily splitting the flesh open without resistance. Furthermore, traces of Harp's anti-healing power is still left, preventing the wounds from healing up. I continue running across the surface of Charybdis' wing, constantly changing directions, but always heading towards the edge of the wing, opposite from where I was dropped off. After a few minutes, I reach my destination. The surface I'm running on abruptly drops off. Without slowing down, I resheath Yamato and jump off. Malim, do a flip. I randomly hear Malim from a few kilometers away, but I accept her request and jump off the edge while doing a flip. After free-falling for a bit, a white blur rushes towards me, capping me mid-air. Rimuru, good boy, Ranga. I scratch Ranga behind the ears and he closes his eyes without stopping his legs. He continues gaining altitude until once again, we are above Charybdis, but this time, from much farther away. Looking down, you can see the artwork I made on Charybdis' wing with Yamato as I was running all over it while dodging its scales. Those aren't random lines. They are in fact runes. This specific set of runes is one of, if not the oldest, set of runes I have. They're the very first rune sequence I ever made. Engraved in Charybdis' wing, covering its entire surface, lie those very same runes. Upsilon, Sigma, G. The runes glow as magicules pass through them, activating its effect. Black flames from hell begin to burn Charybdis. It quickly spreads, consuming every part of the giant fish, until it is now a giant flame cluster in the general shape of Charybdis. Charybdis, scree. It screams out, its regeneration factor unable to keep up with the flames. If anything, its regeneration factor does nothing but prolong its suffering. It quickly loses altitude, too overwhelmed by the pain the flames bring. I shudder to myself. Rimuru, so this is what happens if you don't have an Uno reverse card on you when someone calls your mom gay. Taking this as a life lesson, I watch as Charybdis crashes into the ground and breathes its last. Rimuru, so this is what happens if you don't have an Uno reverse card on you when someone calls your mom gay. Taking this as a life lesson, I watch as Charybdis crashes into the ground and breathes its last, for about 3 seconds. From my pocket, I bring out a gun and shoot the dead Charybdis. Bang! Charybdis scree-ee. And now he's alive again. Sick. Meanwhile, Charybdis now realizes how fucked its situation is. Rimuru, let's go back, bud. Sitting in a comfortable position, I pat Ranga's back, signaling to him that our turn is over. Ranga understood, master. With an eager reply, Ranga pauses midair for a moment before the surroundings shift and we both teleport back into the small clearing in the middle of the forest. Waiting for us is Ilya, Milim and Mikoto. Ilya, Oniai-chan. Ilya excitedly runs up and jumps into me for a hug. I pat her head with a smile and open my mouth. Rimuru, so? How long did I take? Ilya, 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Ilya informs me while purring from my head pats. Milim, we're racing. Then I'll beat that guy up in under a minute. Mikoto, but we're not competing? Rimuru, we're not. I look at Mikoto with a shocked face as she looks at me before sighing and covering her face with her palm. Mikoto, I guess we are now. Flash. With a burst of her aura, the wind around her gets pushed away as her whole body gets covered with her pink magicules for a split second. Immediately after, the light disappears and Milim is standing there in her skimpy Demon Lord attire. Milim, then I'm going on ahead. She bends her knees and pushes off the ground, rocketing towards the recovered Charybdis. Charybdis, being affected by phobio intelligence, immediately forgets about the death it just experienced and continued looking for more shit to destroy. I wonder why it, I don't know, doesn't even bother trying to destroy the forest or something, but I'm sure it has its own reasoning. Milim quickly reaches an altitude of a couple of 100 meters in the air, level with Charybdis I. With its size, it seems quite close to her, but Milim is actually flying quite a distance away. Regardless, Charybdis notices the small figure and charges up its eye laser beam. Milim smirks, not bothering to move at all. Thoom. The beam of pure energy rushes towards Milim, completely dwarfing her due to its sheer size. But, bam! Milim simply holds out her hand in front of her. The energy beam hits it before splitting, flying into multiple random directions with much less power than before. I mean, the ground doesn't even explode from the few lasers that hit it. Soon the beam dies down, revealing an unharmed Demon Lord Loli. If there's anything that could be called damage, it would be her hand that took the entirety of the attack. It is now emitting steam. That's it. Milim's smirk gets wider and she begins to move her magicules around her. Milim, this is what you call an attack. She raises her arms above her and in between her palms, a small concentration of magicules begin to gather. Don't get me wrong, when I say small, I mean its size. The amount of energy it contains is anything but small. Magicules from all over the area rushes towards Milim only to become compressed in the ball of highly dense magicules. It begins to brighten until it eventually could become likened to a bright star in the night sky. It's noon, by the way. She throws her hands out in front of her Kamehameha style while screaming out her attack. Milim Draco Bustier. Vivivivivivum. Multiple arcs of energy shoot out, vibrating the air it passes through, creating a unique sound. Each of the arcs of energy hit different parts of Charybdis' body. They all create a small flash of light, quickly disappearing. Boom. Before Charybdis fucking explodes. Bringing out the revival gun I randomly made, I once again shoot the area Charybdis was just in. I mean, it's currently vaporized, so it doesn't have a body I can shoot it with. But Charybdis appears once again, completely fine. Mikoto looks at the gun in my hand and opens her mouth. Rimuru, don't question it. Mikoto B but dash. Rimuru shhhhh, it's okay. I understand. There are just some things you shouldn't bother asking about. Mikoto decides to heed my advice and close her mouth. Hitting the ground in a 3-point landing, Milim returns back to us. Milim, I win. Wahahaha. Rimuru, not even 30 seconds, as expected of you. Ilya is indisposed under my head pats, currently cuddling up to me and rubbing her cheeks on my chest, so I take it upon myself to call out her time. Mikoto is glancing at Ilya quite frequently too with jealous eyes. I take my hand off Ilya's head and tap her back a couple of times. She pouts in dissatisfaction before she lets go of her hug. Her pout turns into a smile as she steps back. Her body shines in an illogical and slightly infuriating anime bright light sensor. After some more magical girl shenanigans, she appears from the light in her magical girl outfit holding her iconic magical girl stick, Ruby. Unfortunately, it's not sentient. She can do everything herself, after all. It's honestly a shame. Ilya, then, I'm going. She gently lifts off the ground before she shoots off towards Charybdis. Very quickly, she is now faced against the once again newly recovered Charybdis. Ilya, I want to go back to Oniai-chan's pats quickly, so let's finish this off. Holding Ruby in front of her, a ball of compressed magicules gathers in front of it. It's quite similar to Malim's attack, but there is a color difference. Unlike Malim's raw energy compression, causing it to appear blue in the natural color magicules come in, Ilya's attacks come in a bright flashy pink color. Ilya, fewer, fire. She fires off the compressed ball of energy. Boom. Long story short, Charybdis died. Ilya, Oniai-ka Wayan. Ilya flies at full speed into my stomach. Rimuru, OOF. She hugs me and begs me with her eyes to continue pampering her. I can't say no. And so, continues the head pat saga. I feel a burning sensation on my back. Turning around, I see Mikoto quickly turning her head away, looking at a random tree. Rimuru. Do you want a hug too? Please say yes. Mikoto, what are you talking about? I am going. She didn't say yes. Mikoto runs full speed towards Ranga and jumps on him. Knowing not to dare disobey the mistress, especially when she's running away from his master with a red face, Ranga listens to her and jumps into the air, quickly approaching Charybdis, who has, once again, completely recovered. Meanwhile, Malim, having her sub-30-second record beaten by an eager magical girl, Loli, is crouching in the corner drawing circles in the ground with her finger. I know the feeling, man. Third-person POV. Meanwhile, Mikoto is currently on Ranga's back, face burning from embarrassment as her eyes are swirling and steam is rising from her head. 6 words are constantly running through her head. Do you want a hug too? Unable to even form a coherent sentence, that scene continues playing through her head until now it's a beautified Rimuru with sparkling eyes and thick eyelashes with flowers blooming all around him staring deep into Mikoto's eyes as he holds her in a princess carry while saying, "You are beautiful, I want to hug you." Mikoto, no. She screams out from embarrassment, not noticing a giant black cloud has formed above Charybdis, similar to a typhoon. The eye of the storm, directly above the giant fish, is flashing from electricity and lightning, quickly growing in intensity. Asterisk crackle. Crack bang. Asterisk. An extra thick bolt of lightning is ejected from the cloud and envelopes Charybdis. And so, Charybdis died. Not entirely from the lightning strike, although it was a major contributor, but from the PTSD Phobio has with Mikoto's lightning. Such a shame she didn't use her railgun. Ranga lands back in front of us with Mikoto on his back. Mikoto slides off and lands on the ground before slowly walking in my direction. As she gets closer, I can see steam rising from her head and her eyes are swirling. Furthermore, her steps are unsteady. It seems I broke her. I didn't even intend for my casual comment to have this effect. Oh well, regardless, what's done is done. I shrug my shoulders helplessly as Mikoto walks past me towards the other 2 girls. Ilya, so. Mikoto won? Malim, I could have been faster, but I decided to at least give you all a chance. Ilya and Malim are having a conversation to the side and are discussing the little competition we all had. Ilya is taking a break from my head pats for her mental health and is sitting under a tree with Malim sitting next to her. Both of them have untransformed and are now in their casual attire. Looking at them now, I'm really proud of my work. With Spatial Ruler, the mirror dimension is much more stable. If any of the attacks they launched were done before I got the skill, the mirror dimension probably would have broken. Rimuru, now that I think about it, does the person who got first place get a reward or something? Ilya and Malim look towards me before looking at each other. They then shifted their eyes towards a still dazed Makoto sitting under a different tree next to them, staring blankly at the sky. We never discussed if there was going to be a reward. Milim. Let's just forget about it. Ilya, Milim. Milim, but it's not fair. I wanted to win. Ilya, if you attacked Charybdis instead of waiting for it to attack you first, then you would have won. Milim, you. Ilya begins scolding Milim like a mom or an older sister, which creates a surreal scene. I never knew I needed this. Well, I would ask Makoto what she wants, but I don't think she's available right now. Rimuru. Then let's go home? And so Charybdis, a name that struck fear into many people around the world, was toyed to death by a slime, two Lolas and its Tsundere Pikachu. Makoto, Ilya, Milim, Ranga, and I all left the mirror dimension, seeing as there's nothing else to do here. As soon as we left, we heard a large crashing sound. Looking in the direction the sound came from, we see another Charybdis crashing into the ground. Rimuru, oh. I forgot about this. Milim, another Charybdis, no, an illusion? Rimuru, you realized? I smile as I remember the small failsafe I made. Milim, of course. It's me after all. Milim puffs her chest out in pride. I did not doubt that Charybdis would be absolutely wrecked between the five of us, but I don't want our strength being public knowledge. I don't really know if Clayman or someone like that is peeking in on our battle, so I shifted everyone into the mirror dimension to go wild there. Meanwhile, I used Ahura Mazda to create some projectors enhanced through my runes that cast a powerful illusion over the area and in the sky. Basically, it would play a simulated recording of our battle with Charybdis. There wasn't anything elaborate, just an Avalon versus Charybdis fight. It played out pretty much like in canon, with me and my subordinates struggling in our fight against the giant fish before having Milim come along and blow it away. Well, Dworgen and its Pegasus Knights didn't take part in the simulated battle, unlike in the series. It would be weird to explain to them why their Pegasus Knights fought against Charybdis while not even leaving Dworgen's walls, and I didn't want to call them and just have them fight against an illusion. It feels wrong. No, I will not tell them about the mirror dimension. That place can be a strategic weapon if used right, and it's a confidential secret. Only those close to me know about it. Oh, and the Megalodons didn't appear either. In the series, OG Charybdis summoned 13 Megalodons, basically flying sharks, that manifested through the lesser dragon corpses that were left there by Footman and Terror as their plan B in case they couldn't convince Phobio. I got rid of them, lol. But they still appeared in the illusions. In fact, Ilya was the one who simulated and recorded the whole illusion fight, so big props to her. I would pat her, but I'm afraid she would faint since I did pat her head pretty seriously before. In any case, Charybdis just crashed into the ground and I think I see another Rimuru, Makoto, Milim, Ranga, Benimaru, Soai, Cheyenne and Hakuru celebrating as Shounen protags do. Illusion Rimuru, we did it, guys. It's because we all worked together that we were able to take care of this great foe. I suck in a cold breath through my teeth. Looking at me do all that from a third-person perspective invokes a heavy feeling of cringe in my soul. I shake my head and turn around, opening a portal to Avalon. I'm not coming back here again. Next day. So yeah, I'm back, lol. I forgot about resurrecting Charybdis. Or to be exact, resurrecting Phobio. Now you may be asking why am I even bothering to save that dumbass instead of just leaving him dead? My answer? Rimuru, ha, my foot still itches. It's a bit annoying, to be honest. So yeah, I'm resurrecting Charybdis. Back in the mirror dimension, I walk up to Charybdis' corpse. I'm alone this time, Ranga and the other girls aren't with me. Charybdis is already dispersing back into Magicules. If I forgot about this guy, he probably would have just resurrected again after a century or something. It's not like that would have been a problem. I hold my hand out in front of me and take a deep breath. Rimuru, Ahura Mazda. Magicules flow through my arm and out of my palm, coalescing together. A shining ball of light appears before the light disperses, revealing a meat bun. But not just any meat bun. It's a glowing meat bun. I hesitate. But eventually, I close my eyes and throw the meat bun at the dispersing fish mountain. Flash. The meat bun shines in a bright gold color before turning into mist and rushes into Charybdis. Seconds later, the ground rumbles and Charybdis Eye regains its light. It attempts to rise off the ground, returning to the skies, but it'll never get that chance again. Rimuru, you made me throw away that meat bun. With malice lacing my voice, a magic staff appears in my hands. It has a wooden body with a white cloth wrapped around the middle. Its top half is heavily curved, and in that curve lies a round red orb. It's Megumin's staff. Rimuru, I'll blow you away. Be flat as Mikoto's chest. Explosion. Crimson magic circles appear above Charybdis, dyeing the sky in fire. Asterisk. Asterisk. The mirror dimension trembles from the pressure, but I easily stabilize it. I watch the staff disappear into dust and ashes, with a slight look of regret. But a resolved look glints in my eyes as I snap my fingers. Whoop. With a twist of space, the charred body of the barely recognizable Phobio appears on the ground in front of me. Name, Rimuru. Race, Origin Slime. Protection, Crest of Space. Title, Highest Tier Spirit, Leader of the Monsters, Oniai-chan, King of Avalon, Master of Headpats, Procrastinator King. Manus, Iliasville. Ultimate Skills, Beelzebub, Lord of Gluttony, Ahura Mazda, Lord of Creation, Scathach, Lord of Runes. Unique Skills, Spatial Ruler. Intrinsic Skills, Infinite Regeneration, Universal Shapeshift, Universal Sense, Enhanced Replication, Universal Thread. Extra Skills, Lord's Ambition, Thought Communication, Control Particles, Control Natural Elements. Resistances, Cancel Pain, Resist Melee Attack, Cancel Natural Elements, Cancel Ailments, Resist Spiritual Attack, Resist Holy Attack. If you liked the content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll stay here until next time.